Hello, thank you for joining us in our podcast today. My name is Lillian, and I will. Sorry, can we restart?
Yeah, take two.
What happened?
I didn't look
I'm
at
so
you. Hey,
sorry.
we're still recording. Stop it.
Yeah.
So
Okay.
just
Wait 2
look
seconds.
at that camera, wait 2 seconds, and then start. Stroke and
Sorry.
go.
What happened? Okay, guys. Straight.
Hello, thank you for joining us in our podcast today. My name is Lillian, and I will be the moderator for today. I'm here joined with Shiv Kumar, Calvin Kruger, and Chris Garcia. Today is a great day to talk about something that not many people realize is harmful, something psychological, something that people can gain resentment towards or just feeling really worse about themselves when it's supposed to be the opposite effect. As a matter of fact, I'm talking about people pleasers and why it's such a toxic trait, why you shouldn't be one. So let's just dive right into our first topic, into the effects of it. So, just to start, we know that there's a lot of good things when you're a people pleaser, like you are helping someone and someone is getting benefited, but it becomes a problem because you might not be helping yourself. For instance, there's an article from the Washington Post written by Natalie Liu in June 12th, 2022. She said that people pleasing occurs when someone is not prioritizing their own needs, but for someone else's needs, and that is due to them avoiding conflict or just to really gain approval. Have you guys ever felt that way before?
Yeah, I've definitely felt that. And during my high school years, even during my middle school years, I always tried to give answers to people and to other students just as a way to talk to them because I wasn't really the most socially outgoing. And it gave me an opportunity to talk to them. But once you realize that they were using me, then I just felt regret and honestly just a low self-esteem.
Yeah, like they only talk to you for assignments, not
Right.
not because like they genuinely care.
Yeah.
More of just like, hey, let me get some help,
Mhm.
help me out. Like, we'll pass it over. Meanwhile, you put in like hella effort for that certain thing, and it's just like, oh, let me just take it.
And they have no shame in
I
asking.
feel like they think that people pleasers are really easy to get.
Yeah.
And sometimes they are,
Yeah.
and that's why we're probably taken so advantage of. What
Oh,
about
I was
what about
saying some people are like so direct with that. They're just like, hey, pass it. They won't even like warm up to you and be like, oh, how's your day or whatever. You think you could pass it over?
Right.
It's just straight
not
up
treat
like,
you like a human, just
whenever
as
I
a
have to
tool?
ask for help, right? I try to make sure I'm polite at least. But there's some moments where they just, are overly confident.
You can be harsh sometimes.
Yeah, harsh.
This is a part of people pleasers are easy to manipulate, like you guys
Yeah.
said. There's no warming up. It's just kind of, just ask for help and expect it.
Calvin, have you ever experienced that situation where you had to do too much for someone, or maybe you weren't able to have enough time?
Yes, it was actually during work. People would always come to me if they wanted their shift taken or if they needed it. They asked me first, and I'd usually just say yes to almost everything.
Even after you worked your shift, you
Yeah.
took over theirs.
Yes.
I know personally I have as well. Like when I had a job, I had to work for so many hours straight because the place that I was working at was always either understaffed or overstaffed, and always understaffed when there was the most people. That's the funny thing. Like I remember I had to take over three different roles because there was hardly anyone there. I think there was like four different people there. I had to be giving out certain prizes. I had to give out certain things, and then I had to clean tables and all that stuff. All that for just me and three other people.
You probably had to maintain a good attitude too, huh? You're
Yeah.
probably stressing, but you knew that if you showed that to them, then they'd probably get angry.
Yeah,
So that, I
because
feel like that is kind of people pleasing because you didn't want to,
yeah, I didn't
seem
really get the chance to show it or express it. I had to mostly just keep it in because it's like these people don't know. Why would they care? Like, I mean, I got stuff to do. They're there for fun. I don't want to take the joy out of that,
Mhm.
and it really would.
Yeah. But the thing is, if you don't open up and show what you really are thinking, then you end up repressing those emotions, right?
Everything is
Yeah,
suppressed.
everything is suppressed, you repress them, and that could like lead to depression. And according to this 2024 article by Morgan Smith in the All Points North website, she was saying that if you keep people pleasing, it'll eventually like manifest into depression, and that's something I feel like I relate to.
That does make sense. I was assuming I didn't consider the depression part, but I was thinking like how people can get like more anxiety and stress, and then low self-esteem too, because like if you get anxious because you don't know like how the other person's gonna react,
Right.
and then you would get more stressed because you have to decide. And I feel like people pleasers aren't really the type to want to make a decision. They kind of just go with the flow, even if they don't like it, just because they just gotta suck it up because they don't want to be like the odd one out in the group that chose like something that was all similar.
Like pushing back, like for example, like people pleasers. Instead of pushing back, be like, "Oh yeah, I'm sorry, I can't give it to you," or like, "No." They're just like, "Oh yeah, I'll do it," or like don't really know how to stop things from happening like that.
Yeah, and this builds up like built up frustration and anger and all that stress and anxiety, which can lead to like distrust in others.
If there's like poor communication, like just dishonesty, and then like there goes the trust levels, right? Because you aren't really able to express what you actually want to say.
Right. And in addition to all that, like there's also a lot of like physical effects. Yeah. Like you said, like there's a lot of anxiety and depression that could cause it. And because of that, like depression and stress can also have like uh, effects on your body, like heart issues, and you're more prone to cancer. And your overall like immune system is compromised because of that. Yeah.
So I
Yeah,
guess it really
like
shows that it does take a toll.
yeah, like according to the Cleveland Clinic in 2022, people are more likely to experience anxiety and depression
Yeah.
while people pleasing. Like I mean, the people pleasing, you kind of have to put like your emotions to the side, your thoughts to the side. You don't really get to be yourself.
There's no self care too, because you aren't considering. You probably don't consider yourself as a person too that also has needs.
Yeah.
Sad.
And I also feel like another effect is like you start having trust issues. Like if you don't know who to trust anymore because everyone's taking
Yeah.
advantage of you, you kind of like lose that trust in people.
Because there is a difference between people pleasing and then actually just normal helping. Like I feel like people pleasers are the ones who help a lot, but they don't get anything in return, or they don't get like I know
Held back.
sometimes they get held back, and sometimes they don't even get to achieve their own thing. But a normal person that isn't well, people pleasers are normal too, but
Yeah.
people that aren't like pleasing others, they still are able to get their stuff done. They're still able to have time for themselves, but also they're the ones that are able to have time to be able to help someone else while still succeeding. But people pleasers don't.
And there could be a loss of like self identity. So just constantly people pleasing and not having time for your own desire or needs can just lose to your own self and just be
It is
emptiness.
unfortunate.
And I feel like that can also lead to burnout.
Oh yeah, burnout for sure.
In the same article, like she was talking about how like people like end up experiencing more burnout in their lives because they have no time for themselves.
And that burnout could lead, it could build up, and then the burnout could lead into the physical effects, like you said, which is like the final build up of everything.
More depression too.
And you end up resenting people because you just don't know who to trust anymore.
Yeah, like I know, once I like eventually like broke out of being a people pleaser, like those people that I did that stuff for, I just ended up like hating them because like really, that's all you talked to me for? That's all you wanted?
See, I really wish that's why people should talk about their emotions more and their feelings and what they actually feel, because people pleasing is really an issue. It's so common, and so many people just kind of think of it as like whatever, but it can be there's mental aspects to it, there's physical aspects to it, and if you don't control that, then we just end up caving deeper into like not knowing who we are anymore, just maybe a tool or something. So now that we have talked about the effects of people pleasing, we're gonna dive deeper into the causes of people pleasing, like some situations. And to start us off again, there's a website, the Capsule website, which talked about how people do it because they're trying to like not be rejected. Like they're fearing failure and they don't want to be rejected if they aren't able to open up about their feelings.
Yeah, and I feel like that could like cause FOMO within like
FOMO.
yeah, within like the year. Like you don't want to miss out on something, so you just like you do it because everyone else is doing it. You know?
FOMO is a big one. I don't like how like sometimes there's parties that I want to go to, but I might have homework or something, so I have to choose. Do I want to do a little bit of homework and still maybe not do that good on the test, or do good on the test, or do I just want to skip that and then like make some fun memories
Yeah.
in my youth and stuff?
Yeah, I've experienced that too. Like there's some like family functions that everyone wants me to go to, but like I just want to stay home, right? But because they like get upset that I didn't go, I just end up going.
Yeah, they always it's hard because like sometimes even if I do either or, I still regret it
Right.
because it's like, oh, I did homework, good for me, but oh, I missed
Step on
out.
that,
Right.
yeah.
But then if I do go to the party, shoot, I'm cooked for the next
Right.
test.
And I also do that. It's like family gatherings, like you said. It could be like a rare family gathering of like not many relatives, and you kind of like just kind of stay out of it a little bit. And it has that built up regret.
Chris, have you ever got like fear of missing out and stuff? FOMO?
I have like family parties and stuff like that. Like most of the time, I don't know if I should or shouldn't go. Like in moments I'm like I do want to go, but then in moments I'm like no, I don't know. Like half of the time I just kind of just flip a coin for it.
And not to mention like FOMO has its own negative effects like peer pressure, and that could lead to like addiction and stuff. So yeah, that's a really bad thing.
And then in more extreme cases, that just reminded me of like, how some people might like send explicit photos out of pressure because they're kind of people pleasing. Like they're just trying to do it thinking that the other person will like that. But then afterwards, they technically didn't want to do that and they start feeling like maybe guilt or regret and then maybe resentment for the person for maybe making them feel that they had to do something like that.
Yeah, and I feel like that's like because of emotional validation and emotional dependence. And according to this 2024 article by Jennifer Littner from Psych Central, she was saying that like trauma and emotional dependence are like some of the root causes for people pleasing,
Right.
because we always want to be liked by others, and we have our own past experience that kind of lead into people
I
pleasing.
think we are like socially driven for approval. We
Approval,
always
yeah.
want validation.
Yeah.
That's a really big one when it comes to people pleasers. They do it because they want to seem like a really good helper, and then deep inside, that's not who they really want to be, or at least not too much.
Yeah.
Like they are other people. There's other aspects to them, not just being a pleaser.
Like
feel
don't
like
get
we-
me wrong, helping people is good.
Yeah,
Yeah.
help.
It's good. It's genuinely good, but it's to a certain extent.
Right.
It's to where like you have to put other people's things before your own. Like that's not okay. You should. Don't get me wrong. I think that helping other people is good, but to a certain extent.
Yeah.
To a certain extent, you can't put your happiness above other people's stuff.
And even just your basic needs too. Like if you're like you're sleeping, but then like maybe before you're sleeping, you're about to sleep, and then someone texts you, right? Of maybe a friend or something. You end up staying up just to keep talking to them. And sometimes it's fun, but sometimes you're like, I didn't get a chance to get good sleep that night, and the other night I was already like I pulled an all-nighter or something.
Yeah.
So it is kind of hard.
Yeah, like according to Very Well Mind in 2023, like people pleasing could start as like a kid. Like people pleasing, it's only like you're only given love if you do stuff, if you're good. That's I feel like where people pleasing starts.
Yeah, and I feel like in many cultures that it's very normal for like the guy to be like more controlling and authoritative, and the woman not to be like more compliant and just like deal with whatever the guy is doing, right? And that can lead to like a lot of hostile environment in homes. And when kids see that like their parents are like having that like toxic relationship, that builds up fear, and that could build up trauma, which could
Those influence
yeah,
the other
it influences it.
And that like fear of rejection,
Yeah.
rejection.
Yeah.
So like the fear of like being disapproved or social accepted by your own family.
Yeah. And I feel like it also like because there's a lot of problems within your own family that he would do anything to like mitigate that, you know?
We're just settling with it.
Yeah.
Just avoid problems in general. Like, I
Yeah.
mean, well, people pleasing, you want to, like, people pleasers don't want to be in any arguments or fights and stuff like that. And that's what makes a people pleaser a people pleaser. They will do anything to avoid confrontation.
Yeah. I could relate to that because sometimes I don't really care about what people think, but I just don't want any issues. So I just do it.
Yeah, and to add to that, on that same article by Mason Moore in the Psych Center, she does say something about fawning, a term called fawning, which is about like social acceptance and avoiding conflict.
Yeah. Avoiding conflict does. It's just like the most easy route and the most simple way to deal with it.
And that's a trauma response, right? The
Yes.
fawn
Yeah.
thing.
And I just want to add that like loneliness within like people is also like another cause because we don't want that validation from other
Right. If
people.
they're lonely,
Yeah.
then they kind of want
Yeah.
someone to recognize them.
And
That's where that stems from. As a kid, like, you're only given love if you're good. If you do good things for a certain person.
yeah, like I remember in school, like I would just want to make friends, but I didn't really know how to do that. So, like I said, giving people answers, people pleasing was just like the solution.
It's that like emotional dependence
Mhm.
of like wanting to please people and satisfy everyone around you.
You know, I feel like the people we try to please the most is probably parents, right?
Yeah.
Like, especially for school, you know, they probably want you to do well in school and get good grades. And then if they see you get A's or something, they kind of like really reward you. But then if you don't really get anything, or at least in my family, like if we get anything lower, then they kind of just don't really applaud you. And I just felt really like down. So I was always trying to like work harder for them, not so much for myself. And I feel like that is a big difference with people pleasers too, because they're doing it for someone else and not for their own benefit too.
Yeah, I feel like with family, like you tend to have the mentality that like elders deserve our respect and we have to listen to our elders and stuff like that. But you know, that's just like causing people pleasing.
And like you said, Lynn, this longing like leads an individual to like just get rid of all their own desires and needs just to please their own parents or someone close to them.
Like, I know for me, like with grades and all that stuff, I knew that like if I got lower than a certain grade, like my parents would be disappointed. So I would always want to push harder, always want to do stuff for them, not for myself.
Or you would get punished if you got a lower grade.
Yeah.
But yeah,
You
for
get
sure.
rewarded if you got a higher grade.
I feel like those positive reinforcements really did influence like us being a people pleaser or not. Do you guys feel like those situations have caused you to keep being a people pleaser or like just kind of drive away from it and realize like, okay, wait, this is really like affecting me?
It gave me more to drive away because the great thing is I feel like everyone can relate to that. So as soon as like I would get bad grades, I would get punished, right? Or like something taken away. And in good grades, you would get good stuff. So I just kind of like realized in high school later on, I was kind of like, oh, this is a people pleasing thing. Let me just like push away.
Like maybe getting a C or something isn't as bad as I thought it'd be. It's not the end of the world. It's just a letter that parents just kind of go crazy for.
Yeah. Yeah, I've definitely like had experience with like bad grades and just like not just being feeling like a disappointment to my parents. So I've always tried to like make them happy by doing the most.
Most kids, like I mean, with grades, it's all about making the parent happy. It's all about mostly like for social conversations for the parents even then. Like I know personally, so my mom has shown off like, oh, look at my kid, he's done this, this, and this. Not because like, oh, he worked hard. No, because to show off.
And you end up wanting to be that like perfect child to your parents.
Till eventually one day you crash out. You're like, yeah, I can't do this no more. Can't do this. And then for some people, they end up breaking away from being a people pleaser. And some people don't even know they are.
Yeah.
It is hard to tell sometimes because maybe some people are people pleasers, but maybe they're okay with it too. Like but I just feel like that just means maybe they're more lost with themselves because they don't really know what they're doing.
Yeah.
Like they got like a lack of boundaries, you know, and that's a problem because if you don't have boundaries, like you're always just gonna keep questioning why you might feel stressed or why you find it hard to like put stress on other people or like getting angry at other people. You can't bring yourself to do that because you know deep inside that would probably hurt them. So I feel like people pleasers are really like empathetic because they really do try to consider the other person's side a lot. That's why I feel like they probably overthink and then they just really get in their head on like what to do.
Yeah. And I feel like people pleasing is such a like a you do it without even thinking of it. It's a subconscious like trait, you know.
They're very selfless.
It's such a universal thing that I'm pretty sure everyone has done at one point. I'm pretty sure everyone has people pleased at least one point in their life.
Really is harmful though. So like maybe now is a good time to talk about the people pleasing preventions and how to avoid being a people pleaser if we are one. And to start us off, there was something from the Calm blog in December 14, 2024, written by Dr. Masunik. And he suggested like just start off with like avoid apologizing excessively. Like you know how sometimes people say like, "Oh, I'm sorry," or like just for random stuff like, "Oh, sorry, I accidentally messed up," or "Sorry, I like it's like not an actual apology," you know. So I feel like that would kind of make them seem like less like they would seem inferior. I think that's the
Yeah.
word.
Or you would apologize for something you didn't actually do anything wrong.
But something you didn't even cause, something that like it's just it happened.
That did happen.
It
I
just-
do have a scenario for that. I did walk in like the hallway once during school, and then, boom, someone bumps into me, and I'm the one that says sorry, even though they're the one that bumped into me. But I remember I kind of said that because I just didn't know who they were, and I just wanted to play it safe. I just was afraid, like, oh, if I said, bro, watch where you're going or something,
It's just
I
not
was
instinct.
worried.
It's
Yeah,
not
I
like
was worried they'd give me like a stink eye or like I don't know, come back and
Yeah,
make it
yeah.
like those cliche.
I'm pretty sure you did it out of like instinct and like you didn't really think too much
Yeah.
about it, right? Yeah.
like I know out of instinct I would apologize for things that I didn't even cause, things that I didn't even do. It's just something that I'm so used to. But like eventually I did break off with that because I knew that this isn't my fault. I couldn't do anything about it.
Excessively saying sorry is another subconscious thing. Like
Mm.
you just don't really notice you're doing it.
That is pretty harmful. Like if it's in our instinct to just say sorry, you know, that could kind of mean like that's not really how we're supposed to work, you know.
So I guess like taking like a second and realizing like you don't have to say sorry is like a good start to avoiding people pleasing.
Yeah, like let's say you do something wrong, like a formal apology. Like I know personally, if I know that I did something wrong and like instead of just saying, "Oh, I'm sorry," like to just whatever, I know like I would formally apologize. Like, look, I'm sorry I messed up on this, or this, and I want to apologize for everything caused or thing.
Yeah, that's a proper apology. That's not like, you know, you're not pleasing anyone.
Yeah,
So it's good that you're not really like just saying sorry just
Yeah.
because then it kind of like the word sorry then loses its meaning, you
Yeah.
know.
And like we talked about like being overly apologetic, but like some other like general examples are like having difficulty saying no, and just recognizing that you end up sacrificing your own needs for other people. These are like some general examples of people pleasing.
Let's talk more on that one. When you said like, you know, not saying no, but you know, earlier we were mentioning like the causes and effects. We brought up how, you know, because of prioritizing someone else, it's mainly because the person doesn't say no.
Yeah.
Like they might be so busy, but they just can't like they don't know how to say no nicely.
Yeah, and a good
So-
way to like combat that is just to have boundaries.
Yeah.
Just communicate with people and have like clear and healthy boundaries with people, just to show that you're thinking about yourself and
Right.
you're not being so selfish.
yeah. Like according to like the Mayo Clinic in 2023, they were saying how like instead of instinctively saying, "Oh yeah, I'll do it for you," try and set some boundaries like, "Oh, I'm sorry, I can't do it right now," or not even just saying "I'm sorry," just be like, "Oh, I can't," or saying no. And I know like saying no to begin it's difficult. Just be like, "Oh, let me think about it," or
Yeah.
"I'll let you know when I can," and really just think things through. Like, "Oh, does this person genuinely need my help, or are they just using me to use?"
So you're saying like just to like learn how to politely like decline
Yeah.
doing someone a favor or something.
Just be like, "Oh, I'll think about it," or just like really thinking it through. Like, should I help them? should I not?
Calvin, how would you approach that? Like, if you can't, or if you're asking someone to do a favor and they say they, or wait, no, you know what? How about you're the people pleaser, right? And then how would you try to say no?
Well, I did read this article. So, according to Johnson Allison, the Allison Johnson Online Therapy, an article from 5th of January 2024, they say the first step to overcoming people pleasing is to be self aware. So, you can't really do anything unless you're self aware that you're actually doing it. You said some exercises you could do to do this is you know, think back of conversations you had throughout the day, and you could think of any moments that you were people pleasing
Yeah.
Also, like
or
self-reflection.
self reflection or validating someone else.
I really like that solution because like it's really easy just to like think back what you did during the day and just to self-reflect. And
Yeah,
I've
you can
done
do
that.
that anywhere too. You can just think about it. You can write about it. You can type it online too.
Just venting to yourself. It's a good solution.
Yeah, you can really think about like, oh, was this people pleasing? Like once you break that like of not knowing, like once you become self aware that you are a people pleaser, I feel like it's so much easier to stop being one.
Because then you can be aware of the patterns, and like with what you said, Calvin, like if you just reflect about it more, like you can break through those patterns and try to find different solutions and how to avoid.
Does it say that the self awareness is the start of more solutions?
Yeah. And I know you talked about anxiety being one of the causes for people pleasing, and the probably the easiest way to like combat that is just seeking therapy and professional help. Like according to this article from the NOPD by uh, Patrick McGrath, he said that people that underwent therapy saw an increase in the percentage of um, if they experienced depression or not. Like a 47% of people felt like it felt like it helped them with the depression. 44% said that they felt better in their anxiety and overall stress, and it improved their quality of life.
That is a pretty good percentage. I'm kind of surprised by that because I know that sometimes therapy is not really helpful
Yeah,
for some people, but
true.
in the case of maybe people pleasing, I'm glad that they were able to.
Another form of therapy is group therapy. If everyone's together and relating on their same problems, you could all kind of reflect and grow together.
And it's a lot easier to talk about because it's not like you're just telling someone that's like hearing this about this for the first time. Like in group sessions, I feel like it's all of you could talk about that one thing that everyone went through.
It's more comforting, like
it's more
knowing that
comfort-
everyone feels
More
the same
comforting,
way.
yeah, more comforting to know
and
that
good to
people
know
relate
you're
to
not
you.
alone.
Mm.
Good to know, like, oh, at least I'm not the only one. At least I can talk about
Yeah, if we're all thinking something similar, then you'll know, like, that could give that reassurance, like, oh, it's okay to maybe say no or just
Yeah.
like skip out on an opportunity and do something else the next time.
Yeah. It's very important to have like a group of people that you can really like you can trust and confide in because, like I said, emotional dependency and like we just don't want to be alone. So finding the right people to like talk to can really prevent people pleasing in this.
having good friends and surrounding yourself with positive people. I feel like that's a really good thing to do when you're, I guess, self-aware of being a people pleaser in general. Because I know, like, me personally, I don't have like per se a big group of friends. I have a good group of friends, and that's more important to me than more people.
Quality over quantity. And quality over quantity,
Yes.
yeah. And I feel like people pleasers have like a really hard time recognizing who's their true friends or not because you can just help anybody. And I feel like a good way to like recognize that is like if people reach out to you if they like care about you, then that's how you know they're a good friend. And if they just end up using you for like their own needs, then that's how you know they're like a fake friend.
Yeah, like people that only use you for like help or whatever, they won't even like hide it.
Right.
Like most people, well, people pleasers, I feel like they're a lot more clueless to what's really going on.
And you can end up refining your own self worth. So you can be like, oh, I'm not responsible for it. You can question the sayings of like, oh, I'm responsible for other people, or I should help them because it's a good thing to do.
You are not responsible for other people's tasks.
Yeah.
The only thing you should really focus on is yourself.
Or just prioritizing yourself, literally. Like
Not
just
responsible for
self-care.
what other people think about you or their actions or their self worth.
Like with people pleasing, like I feel like you should take care of your stuff first. Like don't get me wrong, it's good to help people, but once you have your stuff set.
Yeah.
and having
Because at
a
least
plan.
you'll feel better mentally because you aren't like, oh shoot, I have to do something for someone, but then I won't be able to do my thing later.
Yeah.
But then if you just find it's good to have like that balance of
Yeah.
okay, I might be a little busy, so I might have to leave at this time, but I can help you for a little bit, you know.
And you can embrace that discomfort and anxiety of just saying no or just not immediately saying yes. You
Yeah.
can get more comfortable slowly over time.
Like that you said that it just reminded me like it's okay to make mistakes basically, like because when we're young, you know, we try not to make mistakes, which is why we end up, some of us might be people pleasing, but if we realize like we can't help everyone and not everyone can help you, or not everyone is going to like look at you the same or like not see you as like super helpful or whatever, that's fine.
I like what you said about having a balance. Like, it's good to help other people, but make sure you're not doing like you're not sacrificing your own stuff. And having that balance with people is very important.
Right, because then, like, in order to help someone, you probably have to have like energy to do that. But if you're not feeling okay mentally, then maybe you might not even be able to help them in like the full capacity that you want to.
And then you could assert your communication. So instead of saying, oh, this, you'd be like, or I can't do this, or I have something.
Or even giving different suggestions too. Like if they, like in a scenario where maybe they're asking if you want to go to like the water park, and then they'll be like, or you don't want to, and you think, instead of saying, you know what, okay, I'll go, maybe you could offer a different thing, like a different idea. Oh, let's go to Six Flags instead.
Or like for say if you didn't want to go, just be like, oh, I'll think about it, and like so you don't automatically say yes.
So just kind of like a soft way to kind of wait on it.
Making excuses.
Making excuses could
It's
be
a way
worse
to
too.
avoid it.
But overall, just having good communication with whoever you're dealing with
It is better to be more direct and actually saying it instead of don't beat around the bush too much.
Yeah.
Just
nip in the bud.
the excuses to an extent.
I think a key point of all this is you can track your progress. So you can just celebrate small wins or small victories of any progress you've made for
That would encourage me for sure. I think I still kind of deal with people pleasing, but I know for in other goals that I have, I do make like little achievements for myself. Like maybe I'll bake something for myself, so that would encourage me to kind of keep going.
And just recognizing that you're not going to be able to please everyone.
Have you guys ever like regretted helping people too much?
Yeah, I have, because I know for me it took a mental toll on me. Like there's a lot of stuff that has happened in my personal life that I wish I didn't really put two and two together then. Now I do, and I just I think about it and I'm like, yeah, I wish I never did this thing for this person.
And in school, like I remember this one time there was a test, and this guy was like, "Just need the answers right away," and I did it without even thinking about it.
Test answers
Yeah.
too.
And after class, I just felt so stupid. I was like, "Why am I doing this?" Like, he's not even my friend. Like, I don't know why.
I would have felt kind of defeated because
Yeah.
it's like your effort
Yeah.
suddenly, like you took all that time to take the test, and suddenly someone who probably didn't prepare is asking you, and then you just give it to them so easily, and they don't even have to really use their brain for it. That's
Oh,
not
It
fair.
feels like your efforts are worth nothing. The fact someone could just easily take it like that and not really care,
Mhm.
to them it's just some letters on the paper. To you it's studying, energy, time.
Well, I guess that is the end of our podcast. Thank you for listening. I am Lillian, and I was the moderator. This was Shiv, Calvin, and Chris. We talked about people pleasing and why you shouldn't do it, why it's bad, all the effects. And just really remember to prioritize yourself. And don't pour from an empty cup.
The exponential growth from the program from my first year to my third year now, that's what keeps me coming back and keeps me excited and just like fulfills me as a person.
It's so impressive, and we every time we walk in here, you guys are doing something different. It's great. It's
Nothing but opportunities here, and we have sports to cover, we have the equipment.
Because the more ambitious you are, the more opportunities you'll have.
On-the-job training is huge.
You get the hands-on experience.
When someone asks who can do it, you can raise your hand and say, I can do it. So
Joining the class was the best decision I ever made.
Stand by, we're gonna go to cut one.
Cross court to Audrey Jones. Audrey for three! It is good! With 1.3 seconds left on the game clock, Audrey Jones with one of the biggest shots ever.
the sky's the limit, really, with what we can do here.